first episode podcast.
Yeah.
Rico's happy. His
Rico's
team
happy.
just won.
Also, as we get closer to this cold weather season, the intro starts to make more sense, everybody, right?
With but we need a new one. We got to film a new one. New year, new intro. That's the rule. We got to film a new one. Got to freshen up this. That's what's holding us back. Not enough intros that are new and fresh.
That's right.
Rico ran out of the room right before the podcast started because he was like, I don't know. I turned the game off. I think that we just hit a home run to tie it up. And then he's like, oh, I heard a firework. And he runs outside. Is that how you get your information? You don't have a phone that you can look at?
Well, I have Hulu Live Sports. And in the 10th, I turned the game off. And you guys probably weren't watching, but they blew a lead. And they were down two runs with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th. And I'm like, fuck. I'm like, the only way they'll be good is if I'm not watching because I'm cursed at sports. And sure as fuck, get holy shit. Wow. I can't believe it. I'm like, fucking look at the thing. The guy hits a 2-run home run in the bottom of the 9th to tie it with 2 outs. My Hulu's not working. I'm trying to turn it on and Hulu's not working. It's like, oh, we're having trouble loading this, but we're going to fix it. Thanks. It's fucking live. So I have to go on the radio on my phone to listen to the call because I only have Hulu Live Sports. And it's 10 seconds behind. And someone's been shooting off fireworks at the end of good plays. And I just heard I had the game on and there's a guy on third base, 2 outs, bottom of the 10th. And I hear a firework. And I'm like, no one's just shooting off random fireworks on a Thursday in October.
Poor people.
Maybe it was tied. Maybe the firework was tied to the dick of a Yankees fan. You ever think about that?
That would be even better.
It was shooting up cock off. It was shooting up the ass of a Mets fan.
Yes. So my Friday night expenses just went way up because me and Jordan were going to go to Game 4, and if they're down 3-0, I probably could have gone for $20 a ticket. And now chance to tie the series.
Terrible.
$25 a ticket to see the Guardians.
A little more than that.
Yeah.
Cleveland should have its own money. Just soiled rags people find in the street. Oily rags they exchange, sadly.
Bottle caps.
Currency.
I need something to get me through the winter. I only got 3 oiled rags in my shack.
I got 3 old rags, but I got floor seats to the Cavaliers.
Dude, I hate the people that shoot fireworks off. It annoys the fucking living shit out of me.
Yeah.
Every day, because they do it constantly. And it's like, I don't mind maybe at the end of it, if you win the World Series, set off some fireworks. But every game, in the middle of games, during plays, what are you doing, man? Just annoying the shit out of everybody around you.
Well, let's people have leftover fireworks from the 4th of July. They get excited around the playoffs and they shoot them off because they're having playoff watch parties. And so it's a great way to get rid of your 4th of July fireworks when you got some friends over and you all been drinking and you want to celebrate your team's win.
Maybe they did do it for Game 5 because we were in LA, or I was in LA for the Penn State game, and I was having a game.
Rico, you put your earbuds in and it changed the input. Got input-output issues now.
Yeah. You really Yankeed that one.
What they need to have is they should have one firework. You know what I'd like? After a game, if you win a game or lose a game, you set off one firework. Kind of like a signal flare, your plane crashes in the ocean. You set up a signal flare, but it's a specific color to hire a prostitute to tell them to come to your house. They can follow the smoke. You're like, I need a hooker now to celebrate or to be sad with.
Yeah, that's old maritime prostitution flare law. Everybody,
they got a flag for prostitutes too.
Absolutely,
the hooker boat would come over.
Hey, the hooker boat.
No sound.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we can hear you.
Shoot a flare. Somebody will come and help you out.
Yeah, set up your input-output problem flare, and that should get fixed.
And hooker should be over in no time to take care of it.
It'd be great if you could hire. Oh God, what about this idea? Another fantastic first episode podcast idea. You have an AV squad, like the Geek Squad, but they're the Freak Squad. So they come over to fix your VCR, they plug in your cables, but then they freak you. So it's a 2-for-1. Hey, Trevor's here. What's up, Trevor?
Hey,
you see who's in the chat, Donnie?
I don't know how to access the chat.
Oh, well, it's Trevor Hatch. He's here. What's up?
Oh,
He says, what's up?
hey, what up, bud?
So anyway, yeah, give me a freak squad that can come over, fix my thing, install a satellite dish and lingerie, and then be a prostitute. I don't understand why somebody's not doing this. Why Best Buy? Best Buy can't be making money. Why isn't Best Buy doing it?
Yeah, the Geek Squad. Well, I'll tell you why. Because Puff Daddy has given a bad name to the word freak. Because
Yes.
he is
Yeah,
now in
Rico.
trouble.
That's the shirt my wife got Rico and Puerto Rico.
I had to take off my Jose Ramirez good luck shirt.
I was just going to mention
Now I got my
freak
Rico
offs.
tank top on when it's
There we go.
So.
And now you're going to freak
glory.
off. It has been cold lately.
Yes.
You can see that. Rico looks like he's cold now in his Macho Man.
It's even smaller than normal.
Impossible going inside your body like a sumo wrestler.
Right.
All right.
You have not got big at any time, right?
All right. Let's get into the show here. We're on a time frame. We got to finish up
All right,
in under an hour because. All right. So we're doing 2 shows, obviously, as the norm is. The Walking Dead. We figured Halloween. We're getting to the zombies. And I thought, Rico suggested the new Kaitlin Olson show. Of course, the blonde from Always Sunny. And I was like, this actually is thematically accurate because Kaitlin Olson has tried several times to be in a show, any show that's not Always Sunny, and they continuously die and die and die. Now, I didn't watch The Mick, but I heard it was good.
Well, that's
Canceled.
what Heather and I were calling her, the Mick. She goes, "You're gonna watch that show with the Mick?" I go, "Yeah, I gotta watch the show with the Mick."
Yeah,
but
I don't know if this zombie revival of her career is going to work out for her. Should we talk about that show first?
It is on a major network,
new
though,
one?
so that's an
new
upgrade
one
for her, right?
So you can. There's a bit of a hiccup because again, going back to the game, I thought it would be over by like 8, and I would watch the new show. And it just kept going longer and longer and longer. And then when I finally turned it off in disgust, that's when I started to watch the new show. And I got about 20 minutes into it. And then Jordan came out and started talking about
more disgust.
Football problems. And then I had to turn back the game on until Hulu went out, and then I had to listen to it on the radio.
That was a full hour that you just described with like teen problems and
yeah.
You know who had teen problems? Kaitlin Olson in this show. So there you go. Perfect segue. Because she has.
I saw the beginning of it, and so you'll have to explain to me if they ever explain why she's working as a janitor. But there's a lot of inconsistencies in the show. One, she's a poor janitor, right? Taking the bus, and she has a grocery store, grocery cart on the bus. Are you allowed to take grocery carts on the bus?
No, they will not let you take a fucking grocery cart on the bus.
They live in LA, so yes, they are.
No, they still will not let you take a grocery cart on the bus. And is this supposed to endear her? She brings the cart home. Shopping cart people and people who bring them home, worst people in the fucking world. And she gets home, and this is where, to your point, Rico, it makes no sense because she's supposed to be a super smart chick working as a maid. She then. Hey, Mad Dog's here. Mad Dog Ilhan Omar. She takes the shopping cart to her house where she's got other shopping carts on the lawn. And her neighbor, her sweet old neighbor, who's an old white man, an old white florist, so probably gay, I would guess, is watching her kids and lives next door. And he helps her with the shopping cart instead of being like, hey, get these fucking shopping carts off of your lawn. It's an eyesore for the neighborhood, which is what I did when an old man down my block kept putting shopping carts on my street corner. I threw it on his fucking lawn. I said, stop doing it.
Why don't
I noticed
the guy out.
I noticed that part, but also if you can
yelling at him until he has a heart attack.
If you can take a full shopping cart on the bus, that should mean you could also take one of the empty ones on your front lawn on the bus to the fucking grocery store. Why do you just keep getting a new one and stacking them up on your lawn?
Now you're asking why do stupid people do stupid things, Rico? We're never gonna.
But she's supposed to be a super genius, and that's the premise of the show. She's a super genius maid who is walking around and
Yeah.
hold on, let me bring up my notes. She's a super genius maid. And yes, they do explain why she is a maid. It's because apparently she can't hold down a real job because she gets distracted by whatever problems in front of her.
Yeah.
And she has to solve it right away. Now that
Right.
breaks down, I'll tell you, because her first husband disappeared. And this super fucking genius that can solve murders for the cops based on photos and evidence and hairs stuck to table legs can't apparently solve the mystery
Yeah.
of where the fuck her husband went 15 years ago. So now she's just alone with the kids.
I have an idea. If a guy's not around, it's because you're a pain in the ass and he left.
Yeah.
So then, yeah, I'm so smart, but I can't figure out that a guy doesn't want to be with me.
Another couple problems I had with just the beginning that I saw. One or two, I guess. How does she afford like a 3-bedroom ranch in LA
Mm-hmm.
when she can't afford to fix her car?
Well,
Yeah.
she's got she's got another dude that's a father of her autistic kids, and he's
Right.
a weird character. You meet him. Is he supposed to be autistic too?
He's
He's-
they just put him in there so that it fills that gap, is why she's able to, she has a good relationship with her ex, so that means the money's coming in. And so don't question
but
the
he's a
fact that
driving
she's-
teacher, a teenage
Yeah.
driving instructor, though. So that means he doesn't have money. And also,
Yeah.
why did she bang this doofus who, again, he seems also odd and bizarre and socially awkward. So I'm guessing he's autistic too, but she's like super high level.
You got me
functioning
there.
Autistic.
Usually women are being asked about me why they banged that doofus, so I can't ask you about how the
All
other
of
way
us, my
goes.
friend.
Yeah,
That's the banged. We should rename the podcast to the Banged Doofus Podcast.
that's right. Whoa, how did you do it? I don't
That's
know,
funny.
All our significant others. Making a
Trevor
start.
says Kamala Harris helped her out with a $20 down payment on her house.
Yeah.
That's how she was able to afford it. $25,000.
Well done. Yes, she is.
So,
It is a
okay.
California-based show, so we wouldn't be
Also,
surprised.
did
And
anyone
they weren't allowed.
notice
Maybe
that
it's during COVID where they're not allowed to convict her, so she's letting it fly. So anything
her
goes.
oldest daughter who tried to sneak one over on her by taking lip gloss, but super genius
Oh,
mom knew
yes.
exactly how much it would cost, and then when it was off, she figured out what
Yeah.
happened. Did
Yeah.
anyone notice the older daughter did not look? I know. I mean, it's an actor,
It's a
another
different
actor,
husband. Different husband. That's why.
but it didn't look
Yes.
anything like her.
Well, because
No.
her first husband was like either I don't know, a Hispanic or a Hawaiian something.
If we're
some
gonna
brownish
say-
color.
Yeah,
He's the one that
see,
left.
Flash forwarding, if we're allowed to. She does mention the name, but it's at the end of the episode, and it is very. His name is
It's a-
like Marticio Benicio,
It
something
could be
very.
anything. Could be, it's like one of those
Latino.
names. Could be anything. Could
Yeah,
be Filipino.
yeah.
Throw that out there. The Mexicans of the Asians.
I mean, it's LA. I mean, come on, you just got to
Yeah.
play the numbers. It's 80%
So wait a minute.
chance it's a
I
Mexican
can't
guy.
let go of this scene real quick, Don. I have to go back to the scene where she's checking out and her daughter puts the lip gloss in. So she solves the first scene of this. She's cleaning up. She knocks a trash can over. There's a whole quirky scene of her cleaning and dancing. And if there's any question whether or not the show is written by a woman, it's very quickly solved that it is 100% written by a woman, because this is a quirky girl. Like, this would be the epitome of a girl being like, my friend is so funny. She's quirky, and just like, oh, fuck me. That was this show. That was the main character of the show. She's that girl that is not, she's only good, only funny to women, horrible for everybody else to watch. But she solves the, she figures out this woman in this police bulletin board because she works at the LAPD cleaning. Well, she's not the killer, she's the victim, and yada yada. So she's got this magical Minority Report ability to see the facts and see and visually put it together and put these pieces together. Wow, how amazing. Then she goes to the grocery store and apparently also has the super autistic power to add and subtract instantaneously, which, if you know autistic people, these are very different powers. Even super geniuses, these are very separate powers. Stephen Hawking doesn't walk around solving fucking mysteries and then talking about physics and then going to the grocery store and figuring out how many cents there are in a thing. And then on top of that, remembers everything about history and everything he's ever watched. And on top of that, knows everything about the weather. And all these things, by the way, happened in this episode. She knew all these things in
When
this episode.
churches were built.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The wind was blowing in the middle of the day. And it's like,
If she can't
so stupid.
keep her focus long enough to keep a job, but she can keep her focus long enough to add up 500 different items in a grocery store to get the exact final bill, she can't keep her focus long enough to go play blackjack in Vegas and count cards for half an hour?
That'd be helpful.
Really? Like, how
Or even
dumb
be
are
like-
you at being a genius?
Or a bookkeeper that like a small time business hires once a week to just, keep her.
Go be
You know, like, she could
money
easily
launderer
do-
for the mob.
That's what I'm saying. Be a mafia money launderer. Yeah. It'd be
Like,
perfect.
hey,
Not even
I
a
can
money
only work
launderer. She
half
could
an
easily just
hour
be
a
an
day.
accountant and then hire people. Like she could easily have that job.
If there's any super geniuses that are just too scatterbrained and they're working as a janitor right now, please contact us. We can be your agent and make you much more money.
Yeah.
Way better options out there for you.
It'd probably be better for us to clean up while you do other things.
Exactly.
Yeah. Teach us.
I'll
to
clean
do
the toilet.
cards and we'll split the money.
We are below you, person who does or does not exist. We don't know.
So did you guys read the description for the show?
Yes. About how it was a French show?
No. Oh, no, not that.
Oh.
It was literally like a single mom with amazing powers gets recruited to be a member of the LAPD or something like that. It's one of those things you read the byline they're called and you just instantly roll your eyes because it's so fucking stupid. And I knew immediately. I sighed heavily before turning it on because I was like, this is gonna suck. And sure as hell, it was so boring. Agonized. Now, I think crime procedurals in general are boring. They're made for people who don't want to think. But it was so agonizingly boring and cliche and badly written. I mean, legitimately, it was Goodwill writing for Goodwill hunting for chicks. That's all it is, including with the blackboard. She's writing on a blackboard just like Goodwill hunting. And everything about it, I must have paused it 12 times to be like, how much fucking longer do I have to watch this show?
Well, the other thought was they made the LAPD homicide detective unit of 2 detectives look really dumb. And I thought, how dumb do they think cops are?
Well, dumb enough that apparently if you walk outside and say something to a cop, a white male cop, he will say to your husband next to you who's shy, he'll go, hey, if you don't muzzle her, I will. Because anybody would say that in 2024, obviously, especially when you have like female police chief right next to you. Yeah, that makes total sense. Writing
None of it makes any sense, especially if the chick comes up to the cop. The first thing he has to do is go, excuse me, I have to turn on my body cam. This is LA.
Right.
So also, one of the police chiefs from Scrubs, if you watch that show, one of my all-time favorite shows.
Good show.
She, when they brought her into questioning, when they were trying to figure out who wrote victim over suspect on the board, and they found out it was the janitor, and they brought her in for questioning. She's like all sassy, like, well, I was just trying to help you solve your crime. And she didn't really explain anything. And the guy cop's like, well, I can just arrest you then. She's like, okay. The woman cop's like, no. Let's hear the janitor out. Like, what?
Yeah,
really? That's going to happen?
It's because she was the girlfriend of what's his face, the black dude on Scrubs, right? The police chief.
Turk.
That's Turk's girlfriend.
Yeah. Oh, that's who she. I do not recognize
but that's
her.
who the chick is. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's the
Carla.
nurse that he is in romantic endeavors with.
It would have been way better if Turk was in the show instead of that cop they had now.
If the janitor was the grouchy white janitor from Scrubs as well. Instead of Kaitlin
that'll
Olson.
be the next show.
You know what? Let's just relaunch Scrubs and make it a crime procedural.
Don McGinley, the smart ass police chief.
Yeah. Zach Braff can be the killer in every episode. Just different wigs.
I like it.
Yeah. And then D is the doctor that knows everything, who just walks around the crime scenes in the precinct going, "You guys are idiots. This is the real
Yeah.
truth."
Yeah.
Okay,
It'll
it
be
is
way
Scrubs.
It's gonna be great when they recast this show for season 2. They're gonna hear
This
this
one?
podcast. Well,
Our
this
show?
is a genius idea.
Our show. I was gonna say both shows aren't making it to season 2.
No, they're all getting canceled. I'll
Can't
say this:
cancel us.
Kaitlin Olson, as I said, I mean, not that she's annoying. I like her, but the way her character is written is super fucking annoying all the time. Annoying, like grating boss bitch, but quirky boss bitch energy, and it's just fucking grates on you at all times. But why does she dress like a prostitute all the time?
That was what I noticed too. Is that they do have her dressed like a prostitute for some weird reason, but
like literally full on high heels, fishnets, and a leopard jacket, like out of what you see in like Shaq, or
maybe there's
like Foxy Brown.
Yeah, there's probably
not
some
not Shaq, Shaft.
In the third episode, they reveal
should
some
remake Shaft
depth
with
to
Shaq.
her character. Right, she'll have some kind of origin story that makes her think, "Oh, hookers can get away with walking in places, and people don't ask them questions." So that's what I'm thinking.
She leans into the annoying person so well and Always Sunny. Like that's the character. She's supposed to be annoying. And shut up, T.
Yeah. Did anybody think that at one time that one detective was going to say, "Goddamn bitch," or "Shut up, bird"? I thought he was going to say, "Shut up, bird." She's goddamn bitch. That's my favorite thing when they say "goddamn bitch."
So bad.
Goddamn.
So anyway, this first story, so she helps solve a murder. They ask her to help them out. Predictably, she says no and leaves. And of course, the one guy doesn't want the help, but then he needs the help, and then he gets won over by her ability. And then there's a stupid scene, and I don't know if we should spoil this or not. There's a stupid scene where there's a murdered body, and it turns out that he's in a greenhouse, and that's a big plot point because they turn the greenhouse down and freeze, quote unquote, freeze the body. Now, let me be clear. This quote unquote greenhouse is it's a giant house with an open floor plan and glass ceilings. And if it's a greenhouse, there's no way you're going to freeze anything in a fucking greenhouse. It's intended to be warm. It's got sunlight pouring through the glass ceiling of it. But apparently the show's too dumb to realize that. But she ends up coming back. They make her an offer to be on the force full time. And she first says no, but then has to accept it. She has to come back, and she decides that she has to do it for all the little girls out there that are missing their parents, and that she can help. And so she takes the offer, and the demands that the police have to help her find her husband who walked out 15 years ago.
Did they ask, like, why do you need our help?
No, we have to ask that as audience members because it's fucking stupid.
Yeah, that's gonna keep us looking in.
You can figure out every crime in the world except this one you have all the information about. Weird.
Yeah.
Like you know more than we do. You have all you go through your old bank records. They didn't even investigate. They were just like, hey, Troy left.
Yeah. And
what help are they gonna provide?
Trevor's question is about he watched an episode. It happened in a greenhouse. They probably just showed the first episode again, unless we haven't watched more episodes. But if more of them are happening in a greenhouse, that show sucks
only greenhouse
even more. Yeah, only greenhouse. Apparently, Poison Ivy wrote the show.
It's really gonna be hard to go a lot of seasons on this show.
Yeah, Mr. Poison Ivy wrote the show. Mr. Freeze assisted with freezing the body.
It's definitely written by a chick. If every murder happens in a greenhouse,
it's either a greenhouse or a coffee shop.
And there's like, and a weird reference to some plant that no man's ever heard of, but girls are like, yes,
this is the clitoris flower.
Yeah.
Well, I know you don't have anything more to add, Rico. Don, do you have anything else to add on this show?
No, other than it seemed like a kind of like a mix of every show. There was like a little bit of Dexter in there with how she's supposed to be a smart crime scene analyst, and then I don't even know the names of all the shows that they seem to be borrowing from, but it was very weird. It didn't seem realistic, and it wasn't very entertaining. Annoying as hell with the kids and the gay neighbor who's a florist, and the husband who's apparently
Doofus.
just a
The missing
doofus.
guy and the doofus husband.
It's terrible. Who wants to watch more of these idiots? Nobody.
awful.
I don't. It was really bad. So,
Oh, okay.
And
Trevor says
that's
it wasn't
coming
the
from
first episode because she has a badge, so it was definitely a different greenhouse.
no, yeah, nice. So now, yeah, it shows she's the greenhouse investigator. Oh, she had a murder here. U.S. Forest Services and LAPD. That wouldn't surprise you. LAPD and some stupid ass greenhouse gases or whatever they're up to. But no, it's a terrible show. Also,
every murder is based upon global warming.
Exactly. Somehow, we could have prevented it. But this is what you get from this.
Tie a
Is
person
ABC.
to the beach and they're going to drown in 5 years.
This
when the
is
sea
a
level
top
rises.
network, a top U.S. network. This is what they roll out for the fall.
It's amazing.
This is terrible. This is awful.
amazing.
We're in a terrible state of
It's amazing
television.
how bad, how low quality
Wow.
the writing is, how stupid the concept is. I mean,
Who even works
I'm not going to
there?
blame the actors. I don't think the acting was that bad. Again, Kaitlin Olson, I don't know. She's reading the lines they were written for. She was written as an annoying character.
No, she's getting paid, but it's like, who's green lighting these terrible shows? Yikes.
Stupid people. I've come to realize 100%. Hollywood has no concept of what's good or bad. Dumb people are reading the scripts. Dumb people are passing them forward. Dumb people are approving them.
Yeah.
Dumb people are making the decisions. Look, maybe the original script for this was great. And then some fucking idiot at ABC was like, well, maybe we should have her be more quirky. You know who loves quirky women? My lesbian girlfriend.
Right. Once they got to
just
fill
ruin
in.
the show.
Right. They can't just let the show exist. It has to be like, well, how are we going to uplift and showcase these people?
Awful. All right, give it a grade so we can move on to Walking Dead.
I give it an F.
Whoa. It wasn't an F worthy from the first 20 minutes I saw, but I'll give it a incomplete.
Really?
I can't really judge a show. I mean, it was leaning towards like a D.
I give it a quick F.
I get it. Yeah, I was F in the first 9 minutes. When I paused it the first time, I went, fuck, I hate this show. And I wrote down, this is the most exhausting show I've ever watched. I hate it. Longest 50 minutes of my life was I wrote at the end. Terrible.
And I paused it.
F.
I paused it halfway
every
through,
second of it.
thinking it was almost over, and I was at the 22-minute mark. And then I saw it was a 44-minute show, and I go, "This is an hour show. This should be a."
I also paused it at the 22-minute mark. Don, it must have been the same horribly stupid, boring scene where you're like,
exactly.
Fuck
I'm like,
me.
this
How much
has
is
to be
left of
ending
this?
soon. And no, I'm like, oh, there's more of this. Yeah, it's very
awful.
bad. That was
Awful.
another thing that added to the F was that they made this into an hour show. They're filling in an hour a week with ads, and people are watching it. They're not going to watch it. This show's gone in like 6 episodes. This is
sitting through that. God, the first commercial break, I'm like, I'm out. I'm just never coming back. First commercial break.
That's funny. It was a 22 and the 44 when I saw like 22, 44. Oh,
I stopped at 9 and then 22. Those are the places I stopped after that. I was like, fuck it. I'll just watch it to the end. Okay. Let's go to The Walking Dead, a classic show.
A great
show. I'll say I enjoyed the first couple seasons of The Walking Dead. I think we might have talked about this. We brought it up. So I'm gonna hold my eventual hatred for this show because I eventually came to hate it with a passion because they had that whole season where they just lose a little girl and they like are holed up at a farm and a little girl's missing and they're like, oh, this little girl. Well, we better look for her for a month. Maybe she's still out there. She's clearly fucking dead. You're in a zombie apocalypse. If the zombies didn't get her, a dog or a wolf or gangrene or starvation, whatever fucking killed her. But these retards look for her for 4 weeks. And guess what? Turns out she's just been a dead zombie in the barn on the farm the whole time.
You missed the
Don't watch it. That's season 3. Horrible.
Well, that's now season 3. It was about they were hopeful, right? That was the whole thing about the girl.
It was about joy.
It was joy and hope in the future. And she's not Trump. And so they were very happy that the idea that she lived, right? So that was the idea that the future had hope. And that's where season 3 is like, oh, sorry, there's no hope. everything that you thought you loved that you could live for.
But
is
there can be
gone.
no hope that's not unbelievably boring. But anyway, that's ahead. We're getting ahead of ourselves. All right, season 1, episode 1, The Walking Dead. Rick, the guy from Love Actually, the pussy that tries to steal his best friend's girl on Christmas Eve like a shitbag.
Actually,
He's now a cop and American.
We're not allowed to
And-
talk about movies.
Well, I'm just
I have no idea
I'm
what
giving people the
Love
reference.
Actually
That's
is.
who he is.
I don't know what that is either. I've never seen it.
You didn't know you saw Love Actually. It's like a famous cheesy Christmas rom-com kind of type of movie. Hey, even Josh is here. Hold on. What does Josh say? Josh says, High Potential is a decent crime, dumb procedural stuff with the classic straight man and kooky weirdo character. It is not decent. It's a piece of shit. You're wrong. Punch yourself in the face. It's terrible.
Leave now.
Leave now and
Yeah.
never come back. That shit's
And there's
terrible.
there's no straight guys on it. They're all gay.
Just the cop and the other straight guy left her. I also say Kaitlin Olson holding it together. She
Unless
looked
he left her
pretty
because
hot,
he's gay.
considering. Oh, that's a twist. Left her for a gay neighbor. He's been next door the whole time. That's why the gay neighbor doesn't complain about the shopping carts
in
because
the
it'll bring too much.
closet. How ironic. In the closet. In the closet. In the closet.
And you know where he was? The one place they didn't look. In the greenhouse.
No.
No.
All right.
All right.
Anyway, The Walking Dead, zombie apocalypse. Now, I don't know about you guys. I did enjoy, before our recent times, I did enjoy zombie stuff. And The Walking Dead, the way it starts out with the guy, he's a cop. He's got a kind of a douchey cop buddy who they really set the tone on because he's complaining about his wife not turning the lights off, which is
I thought it was a
accurate.
good scene.
It was, but
It
they're
was a
setting
good
the stage
story.
It was
he's-
really
that He's
good.
not that great a guy, but he's 100% right. Turn off the fucking lights.
So you're telling me, like when
Yeah.
she says her dad said the same thing. He's
Yeah.
like, "You telling me, you dumb bitch? You've been hearing this your whole life, and you still can't turn off the fucking light." Great.
So good.
great.
What a great opening dialogue between
It was
two
great.
characters.
It was
That
great.
was really good.
But you find out later, not such a good guy. Not such a good guy, that guy. So Rick.
Well,
is
you
a
don't find
cop.
out later. You find out right away he's not a good guy based on the way he talks.
Well, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
But they set up for like the end of the episode, which we'll get to, where you find out that he's really not a good guy.
Oh.
So,
So quick interlude.
yes.
Jordan comes up to me as a high school kid and says, I can't explain, but I'm going to some kid's house for 10 minutes. Is that a warning sign? Sounds a little suspicious to me.
You know
We'll
what?
see the
that-
state of mind he's in when he gets home.
You better just hope it's a kid's house and not a uncle's. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Is that
10
any
minutes?
Uncles within 10 minutes nearby.
You should have given him $20 and say, "Bring me back some of whatever you get."
I don't know. You guys
Oh,
named your
yeah.
glory holes teen's house, but good job. Good job,
They're
Cleveland.
very clever, these kids.
Yeah.
It reminds me of that Family Guy
yeah.
episode where
For
Roger
for
is
him
a
to last
gym.
10 minutes in the glory hole, good for him, man. I mean, that's a long time.
That's the nice thing about a glory hole. It doesn't matter, it's like it's not like a gang bang where it's like if you're last, you're like, man, like glory hole, you're like, I could be first, I could be last, could be a different person back there. Who's to know?
Who's to
Anyway,
know?
getting back to The Walking Dead.
That's why we need the viewing slot.
What you know what? The Walking Dead
Well,
didn't have
that's-
one
that's a
zombie
different show.
whorehouse where there's banging zombies, but I guess that's worse than getting AIDS because you turn into a zombie.
Oh,
All right, so
dude, I bet you there is a dark version of that where there are whores that are chained and creepy guys go in there.
I'm gonna Google it after we're off this podcast. All right, so
Episode
setting the
2.
stage. So this Walking Dead, it was a smash hit, right? Then I forget, did you guys watch it when it came out, or did you watch?
I
First
did
time?
not.
I
Okay.
watched it for the first few seasons, and then it gets hard to keep going. Like,
Yeah,
It's too much.
exactly. All right, well then, Rico, tell us what you thought, because I thought what did grab me initially, and then it gets a little slow and then picks up, is the waking up in the hospital. It's been done before, but I think they did it well in this one and how they set it
Yeah.
up. Because Rick's a cop, he gets shot fighting with meth heads, getting out of a car. Which, by the way, meth heads and zombies, don't turn your back on them because they will come get you. But
Yeah.
gets shot, goes to the hospital, and then wakes up. So Rico, take it away. What did you think of this?
So they explained this. At first, I was a little confused. Not confused, but so the beginning scene is like he's out and about in the zombie world, and he sees like a little girl walking away from him, and he's like, hey, I can help. She turns around and he shoots her right in the fucking head.
Awesome.
And you're like,
great start.
Like, wow, is that really your first instinct when you see a zombie? Is like that it's a zombie? Like if you're
that would be mine. She was missing half of her face, Rico.
Yeah.
I mean,
like
I'd shoot it.
Zombie and some zombie apocalypse happened. I need to shoot this person without hesitation in the forehead.
Honey,
Hey, he's a sheriff
first.
He's a sheriff in Atlanta. He's gonna
but then they explain it that he woke up in the hospital and he's trying to figure it out, and then he's seeing like all this weird shit, and he gets, he's like trying not to believe it, but then he gets hit in the head, and the black dad and
that was hilarious. By the way, the scene,
and they're like explaining what the fuck's going on.
Hold on, wait, let me stop you there because that was a very funny scene.
It's really good. It's a really good first episode.
It grabs you. No, I agree. We'll
A lot
don't give your
going
grade
on.
too early, Don. But there were some funny things in it. Number one, I thought it was really funny when he's walking around in like a nursing gown, basically. He grabs a bike. He sees all the dead bodies out of the hospital. He's like, oh my God, what happened? He grabs a bike, a red bike, and proceeds to look like Pee-wee in Zombie Apocalypse Land, like Pee-wee's Playhouse, Pee-wee's Zombie Adventure. He's biking down the street, gets to his house, and then goes in. The door's open. There's clearly been a zombie apocalypse or some sort of apocalypse. And the door's open, the screen door's flapping, and he walks in. He's like, Carl? Suzanne? It's like, I think they're probably not going to be home, buddy. Like, if the door's wide open and there's corpses everywhere, they're probably not there. But then the little black kid wangs him in the face with a shovel. And the dad, who I love his character, the black dad, but he's like, hey, mother, he's like, tell me what you said. Tell me where you're out. Tell me. And it's like, your son just whacked him in the face with the shovel, man. Give him a hot second.
It's like, if you don't talk right now, I'm going to kill you. And
He's like,
yeah. Prove you're not a zombie by saying, I'm not a zombie. And it's like when the cops go, say the alphabet backwards. Prove you're not drunk. And you go, I can't. That's sober, man.
Can you turn into Mitch Hedberg right now?
Oh,
yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Hey, man. Cut him up, man.
Yeah.
Thank God he wasn't a really racist cop. He's like, Bobby is asking questions. He's like, shut up, N-word. And the guy's like, oh, pow. Dead.
Yeah, so they explain what's going on. And so that makes more sense when he shoots, like when you see, like, oh, that's probably why he didn't give that girl much time. He's like, pop her in the fucking head. Because you don't want to get bit, as they explained to him.
Or scratched or anything.
Yeah, I think he pops the girl in the head, not knowing what she is. And that's why when he finds the bicycle and he sees that girl crawling, and he's like, oh.
It's like it's only half a body, half a zombie body crawling around.
Zombies.
At that point, you can believe in a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, and he goes, all right, I'm on this bike.
Body crawling.
And then, I'm thinking, how's his like hospital robe not get caught in the bicycle spokes? Because I ride my bike when I was a kid, and if I had like a little flap of pant next to the chain, man, that thing would get caught all the time. Here he is in this big flowing robe.
That would have been a great first episode. He gets on the bike and starts the bicycle, and gets caught, falls down, and then a little half zombie gets him, and he's just like, fuck. The end.
It's a half-hour episode, no other shows.
Yep.
Well, I did have a problem with the hospital, though. So the time frame seems to be about a month and a half elapses between the time he's shot by the meth heads in a coma and then he wakes up. And the zombie apocalypse has been going on for a month. So somehow they chained the door shut before they fled, the staff, which was great of them. So no zombies get into them. But your body still needs food and water, even if you're in a coma. You didn't have any of that for a month.
There is a scene
drip, right?
Yeah, there's a scene a month. That's like a day.
Not a month. If you remember, there's a scene where he is like remembering the visit from his buddy, the other
Yeah.
sheriff. And it's like a vibrating scene because he's remembering it. And he brings him a pot of flowers.
Right.
And then later he comes to and he looks and the pot of flowers is all dried out and wilted.
Right.
So the time that the hospital was still seeing visitors to the time that that flower wilted is the time that took place between the
we're aware of that.
society breaking
It
down.
just seems like it's too much time.
On a side weird thing, that was also the plot of the other show we watched where they used the deterioration
That's
of
the theme of the
plants
episode.
to showcase the passage of time. Isn't that weird?
The passage of time.
That was a big part. That was a big part of High Potential. The wilting flowers.
Yeah, the whole greenhouse thing, which we don't want to
Yeah.
spoil it, but anyway.
Stupid
So
greenhouse
yeah,
thing.
it was only maybe I think like a week between the time where the Shane character visited, brought the flowers, and then he thinks he's remembering it as it's happening because he wakes up and he goes, "Shane, are you here? Are you in the
They
bathroom?"
said it had been going on for a month.
Probably going on for months, but like a
Maybe
month.
when it
You saw that,
started.
the military shows up. There's all sorts of barricades set up. It's like they got there.
Yeah. I mean,
They
the
tried to
bodies are
fight
still
it.
decomposing out there. It looks pretty fresh.
Yeah.
There's fresh blood. All right, let's just say it's realistic. Whatever. So,
All right.
what's not realistic, though, why in every one of these zombie movies, no matter what happens, it's always like, well, these zombies are attacking. We better rip all the ductwork and wiring out of the ceiling for no reason.
Well,
Why?
Yeah, well, yeah. I want it to look very like, you want fluorescence to be flashing randomly.
falling out of the ceiling.
Half
But
hanging, yeah.
The zombies aren't grabbing them.
Yeah,
The
it's
zombies
like
aren't
from
climbing up and
Terminator.
crawling through the ceiling tiles. They're not stealing your copper wire out of the walls. Like
Yeah.
every one of these movies, they always do the same shit.
And
I'm like,
Why is
it
there
wouldn't look like
paper
that.
everywhere?
The
Where'd all this
looters
paper
show
come
up before
from?
the zombies.
yeah, they're getting ahead of it.
Always.
All right. So anyway,
All right.
he
wakes up.
goes, befriends the black guy and his son, and he's looking for his son Carl, who we meet later, and who I hate his face. I hate him. I used to call him Milk Face Carl.
Oh,
I know.
thank God that kid's gone.
It would have been so nice
Yeah.
if he was dead.
He's
He's
looking for
such a
Carl.
shitty character.
Too. He shouldn't have
But
looked for
meanwhile,
either one of them. It's
We
like this
also learn
zombie apocalypse is the best thing that ever happened to me.
there are some cool scenes that you get while he's hanging out with the black guy, which they don't reveal his name yet, but he does have a name. But he's also
Tyrone.
living Tyrone. He is living in the house that he lived in with his wife, and the wife zombie comes back home occasionally, and the boy is freaked out by it. So that's a weird, creepy vibe.
Reaction. I think.
Yeah, that was kind of cool. I forgot that from the first episode because you just kind of remember Rick's character, but you forget that the other characters are there, and it kind of made it even more. I guess they try to add some development to their characters.
Yeah.
And in the future, he comes back to the house, which is kind of interesting after the black dude figures out that Rick is not a threat, right? They become allies, and then he finds out that Rick is a sheriff, and then Rick takes him and his son to the sheriff department where they're able
For a
to
hot
kind of
three-way shower, hot two men in the boys shower
yeah,
scene.
that's right. He goes, yeah, they're they got hot water. It runs on propane. Might as well. Let's all take a shower together.
The kid, they're all singing and yelling in the shower. I'm like, I thought the whole idea was to be quieter, guys.
Yeah,
You should shut up in the shower.
I guess the shower is a really cool thing. When you don't have one, you got to get a shower.
Yeah, well, yeah, because they had heat at least. And
Yeah,
then,
so
so then they separate, right? The dad and the son go their own way. They come back later. Rick takes his car to go to Atlanta, where they tell him the people have all fled to. The CDC was there. By the way, good precursor into don't believe the CDC can solve anything or anything they say. Not even these guys knew COVID was coming. They wanted to get ahead of it and tell you the CDC is full of shit.
There is a scene on his way to Atlanta. Let's talk about how the black guy goes first, though, right? So they split away. He's got a gun and a rifle, or rifle and ammunition, and his son, he goes back home, to just hang out at home. He then tells his kid, hey, it's nighttime. You sit here at the downstairs, read your comic books. I'm going to go upstairs. He takes the rifle, loads it, lines up with the scope, and starts shooting zombies in the hopes that I think his wife zombie shows up.
To lure him in, yeah.
He also had to practice his shooting, so
Yeah.
Yeah, I said, yeah, that's what he told him. I have to practice my shooting. And Rick says the scope's good on that one. And you see right away his first shot is a headshot to the zombie, so his shooting is fine. And so he then wants to shoot the wife, but he can't, so kind of develops that character. Then they show Rick on his way to Atlanta. He's got his radio because he's in his sheriff's car. And as he's radioing, saying, hey, hooty hoo, I'm out here, you know what? His signal's received by a camp who has Shane, his partner in it, with his wife and his son.
Milkface Carl.
And Carl. And now I submit this idea to you. They try to go back to the guy. Hey, Rando, are you there? They can't find him. They go, Shane, you're good at this. Get on the radio and find him. Doesn't find him. That's intentional. And I'll tell you why. If those two guys are partners, there's no way Shane doesn't know exactly the way that his partner sounds on the radio doing the procedural call So he knows exactly who that is. Yep. When it comes on the radio.
Need a little bit more time banging his wife.
And exactly. He's like, yes. And so that's a whole nother. So they're layering this thing really crazy.
Fucking her beforehand.
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. I think as soon as the zombie apocalypse goes down, he knows that he's incapacitated. And even in the scene, he goes, what happened to his dad? You know, what happened to him? Implying that he's dead. Like he might already know that he's dead.
Yeah.
So
I think he told the wife at some point that he was dead. Like I think that later comes up later that he's like, oh yeah, he's dead. Like he didn't see it, but he knows. But still, I mean, we've already kind of quibbled over how long of a period of time it was. Maybe it was a couple weeks, maybe it was a month. It does seem a little bit fast that your husband's dead. And you move into a sexual relationship with his best friend and partner.
Yeah, her biggest turn on his life is a zombie apocalypse. And she's just like, somebody get inside of this. I need it.
Apocalypse sex. Who knows? We'll never know.
Yeah. She's like, I'm a zombie whore. My husband was never into the cosplay with me. He would never role play as a zombie in a zombie world. But thank God, here we are. It all is working out.
This show has, it's got the intrigue, the affair. It's all sorts
his
of
wife is
characters.
From some other show. I didn't like her in that either. I can't remember.
I didn't like her in whatever it was either. Was it Lost? Was she Lost?
I think it was like Prison Break. I had to guess.
Maybe. Yeah, she's kind of like gangly. She's one of those chicks where you look at her and you're like, you're kind of pretty, but also not really pretty.
Your character is a turnoff.
They needed girls that's for the apocalypse show. You can't have women that look all polished and nice. They have to look a little.
No, but they can look like the blonde on the show in the camp.
She was homely.
Yeah, I like the old goat in the camp with the bucket hat. He was always a good character.
Yeah, he was a good.
So anyway,
my favorite character they didn't introduce until the very end. They didn't really even introduce.
Over the radio, you mean? Okay, so wait, let's set this up. So Rick breaks down. He finds a horse in a field that's somehow unmolested and rides it, which, again, it's like a horse clip-clopping is going to make a lot of noise. He rides it into Atlanta where the zombies promptly charge him. He drops his bag of shotguns and shit, and they eat and kill the horse. He crawls under a tank, and he's going to kill himself, and then realizes, he can crawl up through the hole at the bottom of the tank. Why is the tank open? This is what pisses me off. If there's a tank, there's a dead guy inside the tank. How did he get dead? Zombies can't get into tanks.
What if he killed himself?
Driving?
No, he got bit before he climbed into the tank.
The guy that's dead in the tank, you mean?
Yeah, he could have got
soldier.
Bit. Yeah, no, you're right. He had to get bit because he turned into a zombie.
Yeah.
So he must have got
But,
bit.
well, actually, no.
Why are you
that's
sticking
not,
your head out of the tank in the first fucking place?
that's not necessarily true, actually. As a spoiler point, but it's a 12-year-old show now. Everyone turns into a zombie when they die.
Oh yeah,
It's like
that's
a
right. You have to
virus.
get bit.
So
Yeah.
he
Yeah,
could
that's
have
true, I guess. Yeah.
he could have
He could have
died
killed
of,
himself in the
he could
thing
have
too.
died of starvation or ran out of
I guess if
oxygen,
he's out of
whatever.
fuel. But
Yeah.
regardless, I still don't believe in zombie apocalypses that we couldn't kill them all fast enough. I don't believe it. I believe like Pokemon, you can get them all and solve it.
Yeah, I think so too. That there's like two major problems I had as if I was a potential survivor of a zombie apocalypse in this type of zombie apocalypse. One, you just kind of lure them in slowly each area you go to and kill them one by one because they're very stupid.
Yeah,
Second of all, maybe I didn't watch the last 9 seasons, so maybe they do this. It's like, how about you get a fucking boat?
Yeah.
Go to an island.
No,
You don't swim.
Yes.
You're
no,
fine.
they can walk
also-
underwater. I've seen like scenes where they're
There's
in
no way
water and then they
You
reach
go out on
that
the
in
ocean.
other movies,
you go to the
I've seen
Caribbean.
that.
You clear out a nice island for yourself, and you live the rest of your days.
You build a big old raw wall like Israel has, or on the other hand, you build a bunch of tunnels like Hamas has. Really, these people's conflict is going to tell us how to survive a zombie apocalypse. That's what we need to take away from this entire conflict.
They never
Good
think
word.
even slightly outside the box. Like you
Never.
find a lake somewhere. I'm sure there's a big enough island where you could go fishing and live. And
They
sleep,
had that.
and
They
you're never
had
gonna
that. I think they had that. I think it. Yeah, they go into the water and they get there, but still, like build a fence, build a wall. Like it just wouldn't be that hard. It just would not be that hard. But we find, as Rico said, his favorite character, I think, is Glenn on the radio, right?
Yeah.
Asian Glenn. Yeah, he's the guy that is on the radio. What does he say to him?
He's like, "Hey, dumbass," or something like that.
Yeah, hey, dipshit in the tank.
Yeah,
Glenn was a good character. He was fun. Rick and Glenn were good. Everybody in Walking Dead becomes shitty in the end, but
Well,
yeah.
There were characters like Rick is fine. He gets a little preachy and annoying.
he gets preachy after a few seasons.
Shane kind of annoying. The dude with the bucket hat was cool. Glenn was cool. Daryl Dixon is cool character.
His brother's cool.
And so one of the reasons I stopped watching is just because it's like there's too much here. There's like another 100 episodes.
It's just repetitive as shit too. So how many times can you go to a place? Oh, we think we're safe. Oh, we're not safe. It's either people or zombies. And then you're like, we beat them, but we lost 3 guys from our core group. But we met 3 people, so now we're back, and now we find another place. And there's zombies, but it's fucking repetitive. So it's like it became a crime procedural, but with zombies. It's fucking repetitive and boring.
You know what it reminds me of is like a video game where you're trying to harvest. It's like the Plants versus Zombies, but also Sim City, where you're trying to. We built some corn. We got a farm. We got some kids running around. We got a school now. There's a school. And then, the zombies came. Zombies. We gotta fight. The guns around. They go, all right, they relocate. They got a bunch of stuff. We're living in a jail now. So it is repetitive in that.
They never explain either how like there's zombies. These things just never die. Never. They never run out of eventually your cells are going to run out of energy. What are they on nuclear? Are they nuclear powered? They've got a half-life. Solar powered. Yeah. Solar powered zombies, I guess.
Yeah. They're not eating anything. They can't eat each other. So
that is
they're just like dormant. Yeah. They never do. I wonder if they do explain the whole reason why there is zombies. Like, was it a virus or?
I thought they said it was a virus.
It's a virus. Yeah, it's a virus because you're talking about the fever and all that too. But
so
I just can't. Zombies are one of those things like.
It's 2020.
You don't like zombie shows?
I mean, I liked it, but now I'm just so over it. They got so blown out. All of it. Vampire shows, zombie shows, they all got so blown out, man. It's like
that's what happens when
gaping porn butthole. Like I've seen enough of this. I don't need to see it ever again.
The creators, they don't know what to do. So as soon as the trend hits, they go, all right, let's throw a bunch of money behind the cool thing, which is
zombies
and the new one on HBO.
Like the Kelsey brothers right now.
Yeah, now it's the Kelsey brothers. We're gonna have
The
a
Kelsey brothers and
serial.
zombies, both blown out. No more.
We're gonna have, they're gonna have a cartoon show, kind of like
Yeah.
the like the Michael Jordan one with
Space
with
Jam.
Wayne
Space Jam.
Gretzky. There's like a Wayne Gretzky, Michael Jordan, and I don't know, Bo Jackson TV show. It was a long time ago.
Oh, they should bring that back.
That was an old one. It was good. They were sports stars.
What were you saying, Rico? You were saying something before we went on.
Well, I was gonna say, like, so I was gonna watch, try to watch the Fear of the Walking Dead.
Yeah.
And I watched like 3 episodes, and every character was so unlikable on the show. Like, there was not one character that I'm like, oh, I like this character, I like that character. Like, no, they all suck. I hate them all. So you can't have a show where you hate all the characters.
No, you gotta like them.
You can hate the characters, but you have to have characters like you really like too. That's kind of my problem with the new Game of Thrones show. Is like, there's no character I really like on the show. There's characters I don't like, but there's no like awesome character like Tyrion or.
How many episodes of the new Game of Thrones have you watched?
I've watched both seasons, but I mean it's good. It just doesn't do it at the same as the first because there's no like super likable character.
I found that the Damien character. That's the only one I really like.
I don't like him either.
He's a nightmare monster.
Huge dick.
That's why I don't know.
They also
terrible.
The only characters you might like. Well, we're getting way off topic in Game of Thrones talk. The one knight who was like he was a nothing knight, and then he became a knight that the gal liked, and then but he becomes a total shitbox. So I don't know. There's nobody to like on the show. Yeah. Anyway, all right. What do we give Walking Dead? We're gonna wrap it up right now. And we'll figure out what shows we're going to watch next time soon. Oh, Peep Show's our old show. Peep Show, the British comedy. That's what we're going to watch for the old show.
Well, actually, you can think about it, but our next show, if we do it at the same time, would be on Halloween. But you might have
new show could be the other Walking Dead show, that Daryl Dixon show.
True. We should do it a day early.
He's got like a spinoff. It would be Halloween, though. All right, so Dead, I give Walking Dead an A. I mean, that first episode is, it grabs you, gets you in there, feels like you're watching a movie. And I remember the first time I watched that episode, and I thought, man, I can't wait to watch the next episode. And then they did that to me for 5 or 10 years, and then I'm really pissed at them. But that first episode was really good. So.
Never got back.
Yeah, it's just they keep getting you in there. You're like, nothing's happening. Oh, bastards.
What about you, Rico? What do you give it?
I give it
First
an
time
A.
watcher.
I've actually watched the pilot like 4 times at least.
Okay.
Yeah, I give it an A. Definitely.
Nice. I give it a B plus. I really liked it. It wasn't perfect, but I did really like it. So yeah, B plus.
Yeah.
A minus actually.
Yeah.
A minus.
A minus. Yeah. Okay. He changed. It's good. It's a good show. All right. Well,
we'll figure out the new show sometime. Right. I'm sticking to my guns. Watch Peep Show for the old show. It's one of the funniest, horrible. It's like British, uncomfortable, wonderful comedy. Peep Show. That's what we're going to do for our old show next time. Or we could do classic Twilight Zone, I guess. That actually could be fun.
Well, we'll think about it.
All right, we'll think about it. TBD.
Maybe we'll do
just
2 old
in
shows for the Halloween episode.
We'll see.
Don't get crazy.
What are you gonna do? We're not doing it on a Halloween. Now, people are going to come over and have kids. We'll do it the day before. Day before Halloween. That's what we're doing. All right. Okay, goodbye. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you later.
Bravo!
I loved that.
Oh, it was great.
Well, it was pretty good.
Well, it wasn't bad.
Well, there were parts of it that weren't very good,
It
though.
could have been a lot better.
I didn't really like it.
It was pretty terrible.
It was bad.
It was awful.
It was terrible.
Get him away!
Hey, boo!
Boo!